Hey boyos, daily check with John V. I was going to do a smoking video, but I decided not to. It's kind of bright and sunny out, and I don't want to be out in the sunlight right now. It hurts my eyes because I'm not used to it. You know, incel life basically. I'm not an incel. I don't consider myself an incel. Incel is a very strong term to use. I know some people would say you're an incel, but I don't think I am, right? I don't hate women because of my lack of success with women. I have success with women. It's just the women that want me, I don't want them back, right? So I've only actually known one true incel, and I don't even know if he actually was because he's probably strongly exaggerating his lack of success with women, and he doesn't even hate women, right? But you know, when there's a new negative term to be used, people will throw it around online just to insult other people. It's just the way it is. To some, I may be an incel because I'm not overly attractive, right? So, and it's automatically assumed if you're not really attractive, nobody wants you. But I've had options in recent years, and I'm not settling, right? My standards are fairly high now. That's probably why I've been single for almost 15 years. Yeah, that's right. I haven't gotten laid in almost 15 years, right? I've had chances, but I don't want to just, smash some rando and then regret it later and, break up with them for somebody else. I'm not going to do that, right? I'm holding out for an HBB, Heavenly Blessed Beauty, right? They don't have to be perfect, but I'm not going to be perfect either when I finish transforming, but I'll be a lot better than I am now, right? And yeah, I did do this video already. I started to, and I accidentally hit the stop record button, so I'm doing it over. I did show off my knives. I have a couple knives, right? And then there's a knife in here. I'm not opening this because when I set it down, I accidentally hit the space bar and stopped recording last time, so it's just a little knife. I have a whole bunch of axes, machetes, and knives coming in the mail from Temu, and I'm just gonna resell them just to make some cash, right? And um, I had like $1,500 in store credit for Temu, and I'm just blowing it all on like guitars and bows and machetes and axes and knives, just because it's something cool to buy, right? Um, there was a couple things I want to talk about. One was on the misc. I got no problem with religion or God or the Bible. I got no problem with it. But when people try to push their belief on me, then I have a problem. And I stated in my mega thread, I didn't want to hear any more about religion or God from Broseph Mengele or whatever his name was, and he continued talking about it. I don't appreciate that very much at all. And my experience with you, Broseph, whoever you are, it's not really a good one. You're brash. You resort to name calling and vulgarity when you have a debate with somebody. I mean, I do the same thing. It's not a good way to be. But the big thing is, you didn't respect me when I said I don't want to talk about it anymore. You didn't respect me. You kept talking about it. You could have literally just ended it there and not spoke about it anymore, right? Um, the other guy that you had this debate with, I don't remember his name on there, but he's always had respect for me. He's always treated me with respect. He's never resorted to name calling and vulgarity. So, in my opinion, he won your debate. I don't know who won based on the comments or what you guys wrote to each other, but in my opinion, he won. He's more Christ-like, in my opinion, than you because, like I said, you peddle religion to people when they don't want to hear about it, and you resort to vulgarity and name calling, which is just childish, right? And it's not because you listen to satanic music or any bullshit like that. I don't care about that at all, and I don't think God cares that you listen to satanic music either, honestly. Because in the Bible, Christ himself, he would do things that was wrong, like performing miracles on the Sabbath day. It was against the law to do that, and he still did it, and he got punished for it, which was crucifixion. So it depends on your perspective, right? And Samson in the Bible, he killed hundreds of men. He was a murderer, and just because they were his enemies doesn't make it right. I can't go on a killing spree when I get these axes and machetes and stuff. Go on a killing spree in my neighborhood and kill everyone because I think they're my enemy and have it be okay, right? It doesn't make it right. So, right and wrong, it's largely a matter of opinion. But at the end of the day, you have to obey the law. Otherwise, you get crucified, stoned, whatever the Bible does to people that doesn't do what they're supposed to do. So a lot of the shit about religion, it's all in your head. It doesn't really matter. You know, it's not going to pay the bills. It just doesn't matter to me, right? I've came to terms already with God and religion in my own head, what I believe, and already come to terms. And there's nothing more to be said, right? And the other thing I want to talk about was, um, I'm looking into possibly getting a job again. I've been off work for quite some time now on disability and for my mental health. And I think I'm going to try another time at a job, but I'm just going to get a casual job where it's just like 10 hours a week to supplement my disability income. And I think that would be perfect. I was considering going back to full time work, but I don't think that's going to work very well. I don't think that's going to work very well at all. You know, just a casual job would be excellent. It'll improve my income. It'll help me get out there and socialize and possibly make new friends. It'll get me doing some activity during the week, which counts as low intensity cardio, right? And if I'm working like a couple shifts a week that are like 4 or 6 hours each, I don't have to do any walking, right? That's my low intensity cardio there. Like working at a grocery store, stocking shelves, like 10 hours a week is plenty for cardio, right? And that'll help me a little bit with weight loss. It won't help as much as working like a full time job, like 40 hours a week. If I was doing that, the weight would just fall right off. For a fact, I know that I'd probably be losing a good 15 pounds a month if I had a really active full time job. But I'm not going to have a full time job, just casual, 8, 10, 12 hours a week. And I think that would be excellent for me. And I'm trying to improve my sleeping habits. You know, I go to sleep now at like 8, I get up at like 6. It's still a lot of sleep, it's like 10 hours. But I want to train myself to go on 6 hours. The problem I always have with trying to get a perfect sleep schedule is something will happen where I stay up too late one night and it just takes once. And then my sleeping pattern is fucked. Like if I train myself to go to sleep at 12 midnight and get up at 8, it works fine. Until I have a day where I stay up later than that, stay up till like 2, 3 o'clock. What'll happen is I wake up the next morning, and if I force myself to get up at 8, I'm dead tired all day and want to go to sleep during the day. And if I go to sleep during the day, I get in the habit of wanting to do it every day. And if I sleep in till like 10 o'clock instead of 8, I get in the habit where I want to sleep until 10 o'clock every day. And obviously, if I sleep in later, I stay up later. So over time, I eventually staying up later and later and later until I'm staying up all night, sleeping in later and later until you know, till I'm sleeping all day. So I have to maintain a perfect sleep schedule if I want to keep a perfect sleep schedule. And that means not staying up later and later every night. You know, something ideal would be go to sleep or go to bed at 11:30, fall asleep by midnight, get up at 6 a.m. 6 hours should be reasonable for somebody with a low activity level like myself, right? If I was working some really intense manual labor job like fucking building a railroad or something like that, then yeah, I should be sleeping like 10 hours a night. Um, but I don't see the need for that. 6 hours should be plenty. I've known people who function perfectly fine on like 3, 4 hours of sleep a night. I don't think that lifestyle is ideal for everyone because I think it's partly genetic how much sleep you need, really. And if I let myself, I would literally sleep 14 hours every night or day. 14 hours, and that's the majority of my 24-hour cycle, right? And that's not acceptable. That's too much. I'm basically sleeping my whole life away, and something has to be done, right? And I can function perfectly fine on 6 hours if I'm not overly active during the day. So that's what I'm going to try to do. But my plans for the summer, some of them are kind of blown because I was hoping on this summer being in back to a normal body weight, and I'm not yet, right? And that is often what happens. And I had a nagging feeling that that's what was going to happen. I wasn't going to reach my goal, and without doing lots of cardio and really intense dieting, I knew I wasn't going to reach my goal by summer, right? So now I'm shooting for next summer to be down to the body weight I want. And an acceptable body weight is 175 to 180. Even 185 is okay. I want to be 160. I want to be full on twink mode because when I start weight training again heavily, it'll be easier for me to maintain really ripped physique at 160 rather than at a higher body weight because I want to be really, really lean because I feel that's when I look my best. And I have such a slight bone structure that if I'm much more than 175 with heavyweight training and careful dieting, I don't look very good because my bone structure is so slight and small. And as it is, weighing like 230 ish, whatever I weigh right now, I only wear a size large, right? And a size large, I still wore a size large when I weighed like 185. So, that tells me that a lot of the extra weight is in my guts, really. It's in my guts because I have this humongous fucking belly. Um, Obviously, the fat is all over my body. It's just the distribution, a large portion of it is in my midsection. And I know one of you boys on the MISC, you did mention when you seen that video of my back, because my back is my best body part. And you asked the question, you're like, why is your back so quote unquote lean compared to your midsection? Because this was quite a while ago. I did a video of me flexing my back and showing my upper body. And my back, you can actually see what slightly resembles veins in my back, but yet I had a huge fucking gut. So I don't understand that, right? But my back is my best body part. It develops really quickly. It's really strong, and I'm blessed in that way because the back, the upper back, is probably the most important body part in bodybuilding and most strength sports, right? Because I've heard it said before that bodybuilding competitions are usually won from the back. Because when you stand in front of the bathroom mirror flexing with your shirt off, what do you see? You see your arms, your shoulders, and your chest, right? You don't see your back, you don't see your legs. So people tend to neglect those body parts because they don't see them all the time unless they specifically get like, you know, two mirrors front and back so they can look through to see what their back looks like, or a full length mirror so they can see what their legs look like, right? So, yeah. But I will get back to it. For now, the diet is the most important part, and I gotta kind of pick up my slack in my life and get a casual job and supplement my income because $962 a month is nothing. It's nothing to live on, right? And yeah, there was something else I needed to talk about. What was it? Yeah, when I was younger and I looked a lot better, like I was above average looks, I was a real life Chad. I wasn't an internet Chad. Internet Chad is like, an 8 out of 10. Real life Chad is like a 6.5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 even. And I was a real life Chad, right? I was a 6 to a 6.5 most of the time in my younger days. And when you're a real life Chad, you can be unsuccessful and people will see it as a bonus. You can be an incel, you can be just browsing forums all day and all night, and people will see it as a positive rather than a negative. But when you're fat and ugly and you have negative qualities about you, they will be seen as negative qualities. But when you're a Chad, those negative qualities will actually be seen as a positive. If you're too quiet and you're fat and ugly, people will think you're creepy. They'll think you're weird, right? They'll think you're antisocial. But if you're a Chad and you're quiet, they'll think you're mysterious, right? Um, and that's what it was like for me when I was younger, right? I had a lot of negative qualities, and lacking success was one of them. And they were seen as positives, right? I would have women approach me and proposition me, want to go on dates with me, and stuff like that. And that somewhat does still happen. They're not as bold as when I was younger. Um, Probably because the women now that do that are on a closer level to looks as me than when I was younger. Because when I was younger, I'd often have average looking women, and they would be quite bold and approach me and proposition me and want to go on dates and stuff, or even just outright say they were in love with me, right? And that doesn't happen anymore. But in recent years, since I've gotten so out of shape and bad looking, I have had women that were, about the same level as my looks, come on to me quite strong, but not come right out with it and lay it all on the table like when I was younger, right? So I think once I get back in really good shape, improve my physical appearance, everything in my life is going to get better, and all the negatives about me will be seen as positives because I'm quite antisocial and quiet. I'm not successful. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a vehicle. I don't really have a lot of skills. I have some. I have some training, some skills. Um, I do a lot of incel type activities like browsing forums all fucking day, playing fucking computer games, and that'll all be seen as positives once I get back to chatifying myself and making myself look a lot better, right? But yeah, I like this knife. I'll show it to you guys. Supposedly it's a kitchen knife, and I can see it. It's not a bad knife. I don't want to show you the other one because that's why the video stopped originally, was because I put it back in the case and put the case down and hit the space bar accidentally and it stopped the video, so I won't be doing that. But yeah, not much else to say. 18-minute video, so we'll cut it off there, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys online.